the characters say, you know, I see you. That's kind of
Yeah.
what belonging is about in this way.
That's so powerful. Also an African saying, how people say hello in Africa, like
Mm.
I see you. And that's
Oh,
such a
yeah.
powerful thing, to be seen by another individual and to be connected. And Emily talks, you know, you're right, her book is so valuable. I said before you came on, what I loved about your book and love about it is the clarity
Mm.
of it, and the deepness of it, and also the simplicity of it. Like, it makes so much sense, and there are pillars, as you say, that you can really organize your life around.
Mm.
And that makes you able to make sense of your life. And then as you look back on your life, it makes you feel good about your life. That's the real focus. It gives meaning to your life, and that in turn makes you feel good, correct?
That's right. And I think part of why I was inspired to write about this particular topic is because, you know, we get so much messaging in our culture about why it's so important to be happy and to feel
Yes.
good all the time. And I remember as I began writing about meaning, you know, several years ago, I looked around at all the people around me who I really respected and admired. And it didn't necessarily strike me that they were like feel like happy, bubbly, like high affect, positive affect all the time. But they were like doing things that were really meaningful. They were engaged with, you know, raising children, work that was important to them, things that were kind of stressful and demanding and required sacrifice, but that filled their lives up nonetheless. And I wanted to kind of honor that experience and to say to these people that even if you don't feel happy day to day, that there's something really valuable about the kind of life that you're leading. And I felt like our culture wasn't giving enough attention to that sort of way of pursuing the good life. And so I definitely wanted to kind of write this book to illustrate to people that even if you don't feel like if you have this idea that you have to do something extraordinary to lead a meaningful life, or kind of wondering if there's something wrong with you because you don't feel happy all the time, actually there are all these things that you're already doing, maybe without even realizing it, that are bringing meaning into your life.
So several people said, I'm ordering the book. Other people have said, what is the name of the book? So the book is called The Power of Meaning. And if you can go out, if you have a local bookstore that's open, otherwise, obviously, you can order it. And finally, Emily, you talk in the piece you wrote today for the Sunday paper about tragic optimism. What does
Mm.
that mean?
Tragic optimism is this term that was coined by Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor, Jewish psychiatrist from
Yes.
Vienna, who, when he was, you know, imprisoned in the concentration
Yes.
camps for several years, and was lucky enough to survive the experience. And afterwards, wrote this book about his time there called Man's Search for Meaning, which is a really
Yes.
beautiful
Beautiful.
book. And he talks about how in the camps there were some people who just gave up. They lost hope, and understandably so, because they had lost so much. They'd lost their freedom. They'd watched loved ones go into the gas chambers. It's understandable why they would have felt hopeless. And yet, at the same time, Frankl found that there were some people who continued to believe their lives were meaningful, and that those people were ultimately more resilient in the face of the horrible suffering that they endured. And that kind of attitude of believing that life is meaningful and holding on to hope, even despite life's horrendous suffering, all the losses that we all experience, the difficulties that we all endure, that attitude is called tragic optimism, finding meaning despite how hard and difficult life can be.
And building resilience that, in fact, will give you post-traumatic growth, as you write about, instead of keeping you frozen in terror or feeling disillusioned and really frozen, I guess, is the best way of saying it.
No, exactly. And I think that's why, just as a psychological tool or resource, like the ability to find meaning and to hold on to hope is so important when you're going through hard times, because it kind of moves you forward instead of having you in this paralysis that you're talking about.
Well, Emily, I want to thank you so much. I know you're probably holding the phone. It's Sunday morning. And I want to thank you so much for writing for the Sunday paper. Emily's book, as I said, is called The Power of Meaning. Her piece today, for anybody feeling uncertain, and we all are feeling shaky, is really worth the read, because I think, as she said right there, she gives you the pillars to make sense of this time. She gives you the pillars to have hope, not happiness. You don't have to run around bubbling all the time, but you can get meaning. There is benefit in this time, and there's ways to help yourself make sense of that, in short.
Thank you so much. It was so good to be here with you.
Nice. Thank you. I felt connection. I feel a sense of belonging. So I
Me
really
too.
appreciate that. I hope you know what a big admirer of your work I am, always have been, and will continue to be.
Well, thank you. And likewise, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Emily. So it's really sweet of Emily to join us this morning. As I said, her piece in the Sunday paper is really helpful, really inspirational, and really helps us get through this time, building resilience, building hope, making meaning out of this experience, and really finding purpose in it, even if we've lost our job, which gave us our purpose, right? And all of us at some point have found, I think, our identity through our work. And so we've struggled without our work at this time. Like, where's my purpose? How do I find meaning if I'm sitting at home? And I always like to say that by staying at home, we're being of service. We're being of service. We're doing our job, and we're making a difference. So it might not be the same difference exactly that the doctors and the nurses or the supermarkets workers are making, but we're making a difference. So I want to thank Emily so much. I'm now going to go get Gabi here. Oh my God, my daughter is so excited, Catherine Schwarzenegger, that Gabi is joining us. Let me find Gabi, who's going to maybe teach mommy how to cook. And we always have on the Sunday dinner club, what's Gabi's cooking? What is Gabi cooking? Oh, my phone just went over the edge. So Gabi is going to cook something, and if Gabi can teach me how.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Congratulations on this.
Thank you. I'm so excited. 2 more days.
Oh, this is so exciting. This book comes out on Tuesday. Can you
Yes.
see it, everybody? Watch her on your Instagram. My daughter said she got it before me, but she said there are, so many recipes in there that even somebody like me can make. And you offer, wow, this really is great. Look at this. I'm so proud of you and happy for
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. I wanted to make recipes that everybody could cook any day of the week and never feel overwhelmed or intimidated or anything like that.
So I love this, 125 recipes for real life. And Gabi has done the recipe today in the Sunday paper for the Sunday Paper Dinner Club. And Gabi, what we always say is that we ask people to gather, to find common ground, and then to talk. So we always put a meaningful conversation starter along with the recipe. So I'm pretty good on the conversation starter, but I am not so good on this. So you've got Sunday Paper Dinner Club, Austin style breakfast tacos. You actually have them there in the kitchen.
Yes,
So
we're going to make them.
how do we make them?
Okay, I'm going to set the phone back here so you can see it, but let's see.
This is so exciting. I don't have to cook with you.
Well, we'll cook together when we're allowed to
Yes.
actually be
Oh, look at you.
with
Look at
other
you.
humans. I've got
Okay.
this all set up.
Okay. All
So
right.
ask questions as we go. But so right now we're traveling so much through our kitchen because we can't actually travel in real life.
Yeah.
So this is the first thing I always do when I go to Austin is get breakfast tacos. They're amazing. So I'm going to teach you how to make soft scrambled eggs, char some tortillas, and put them together.
Okay. So you need eggs.
So you need eggs.
My friends need eggs.
And you always want to crack an egg on a flat surface. You don't want to crack it on the side of the bowl because then the egg can get into the yolk part. So just give it a good crack on a flat, and then we're going to whisk them up. In the cookbook.
This is something, actually, Gabi, in my house, we love breakfast at night too. So this is good.
Breakfast for dinner is so my jam. My favorite.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh,
it comes
good.
together in 10 minutes and you feel very gourmet about it. So
Very
in the
gourmet.
book, the
So
recipe
go here
calls. Go ahead.
So while you're cooking, I think this goal of this book was to make easy recipes for people who are busy, that these recipes work in real life. Can you see them?
Yes, and like how often do you get a cookbook and you cook like 2 recipes out of it? Like, and then you put it away and it's beautiful and it's like a coffee table piece. This, I wanted you to actually feel like you could do it. You could, like, nothing in here is so complicated that you can't do it every day.
Yeah, and I think there's really beautiful picture in here. I just opened it up to Parmesan pizza popcorn.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's super easy. Everybody can do that one.
Oh, really? Good. Okay, French onion dip, burrata platter, smoothie. She has a whole section on smoothies. She's still making those tacos for breakfast. Oh, she has beautiful pictures here in the back. Homemade smoky pinto beans. Keep going, Gabi. Curry.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got our eggs, which have just whisked together. In the book, it says to put like a splash of milk in. This is quarantine living. I have no milk. So skipping the milk, it'll just make it a little creamy. I'm melting some butter in a non-stick skillet over here, and I'm just gonna add the egg right into it.
Okay, I can do this so far.
Do you want to come closer so you can see it?
No, I can see it. I know I can do this part of the cooking. I'm
so have you made a soft scramble, or like how do you make your scrambled eggs?
Just swirl up the eggs and throw them in the pan. I don't know if they're soft or hard.
So when you make a soft scramble, you just want to take your spatula and like drag it across the bottom so nothing cooks too quickly. And that way, we're also going to season these with a little bit of salt and a little red pepper flakes. You can also do black pepper if you want, but I feel like red pepper flakes are very Austin. And we're just going to keep like consistently scrambling it until it thickens up.
Okay, so that's how you make soft scrambled.
Right, and so while that's going, I'm also going to turn on a burner and char up some tortillas.
Okay, so you're going to char up the tortillas and you're going to soft scramble the eggs.
I mean,
so
yeah.
I like being able to describe these things. So instead of just throwing a tortilla there, I'm charring it.
Yeah, because we're being like extra.
Yeah, we're being so gourmet. So we're charring the tortilla. We're making the scrambles soft.
Yes, and the tortillas are literally just going to go over an open flame just like this. And then we'll char half of it till it gets a little golden, like black on one side, and then the other side. We've already got bacon cooked. Great. And then we're gonna put it all in the oven, melt it up.
So somebody just says, what happens if you don't have a gas cooktop?
So if you don't have a gas cooktop, great question. You can do it on a skillet. Like you do it on a cast iron skillet, on an all-clad skillet, whatever you want. Like just you want it to kind of get this. You want it to look like that.
Oh, next question is, should these be corn or flour? Look at me go here. Look at
So I prefer, this is controversial, but I prefer flour. And a lot of people would prefer corn, but a traditional breakfast taco is typically a flour tortilla.
You have a recipe in here, keep going, cucumber margaritas.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So we probably shouldn't be making eggs and charred tortillas without some margarita thing here.
I mean, or we need a breakfast cocktail is always encouraged in my house.
Yeah, I mean, the recipes you have in here, Gabi, how many years did it take you to do this? Oh, look at this. Do this book.
The book took about a year. It takes about a year to write it and develop all the recipes, and then about 6 months to edit it, and then 6 months for it to go off to get printed and then come back and go to press. So like 2 years all in, start to finish.
And how did you feel when you saw it, when you actually put this book in your hand? How'd you feel?
It's like my baby. Like it's my third one. I feel like my third child's coming out into the world. It's so exciting. I can't wait for it to be in everyone else's hands next week.
Is this a good time to do a cookbook, or is it a scary time to come out with a book?
Well, so like all my like TV appearances and all that kind of stuff have been like not flying to New York today to do this stage show.
But you're doing Sunday Paper Live. You're doing
right. But other than that, like everyone's cooking. Like Hillary, our mutual friend, Hillary Williams, calls me every night with cooking questions, and the woman never cooked before quarantine.
Catherine, my daughter, has never cooked, and now she's actually becoming a cook, and she's like, she wants to make several recipes from this book for tonight. Somebody's just saying to me, what's the name of the book? It's called What's Gabi Cooking? Eat What You Want. 125 recipes for real life. And she's doing the recipe that you can find today in the Sunday paper, which we thought would be fun because you could do it at night, but you could also do it for brunch in case you haven't had brunch. Look at
these. So these are just gonna go in the oven for 60 seconds while it's got the char tortilla, the egg, the bacon, and I put a little pepper jack cheese on top. Let me just put that right on
now
there.
you're gonna put them in the oven.
Just to melt the cheese for like 30 seconds.
Oh my God. So I really can actually do this recipe. This
is totally approachable. And then we're just gonna slice up an avocado so when it comes out.
Well, look how you do that. Aren't you like afraid you're gonna cut yourself the way you did that?
You know, I was on live TV once and I sliced my hand open, like literally started bleeding on live TV. And I was like, what do I do? But you just want to slice an avocado in half lengthwise carefully so you don't get you like hit the pit with your knife. And then you just want to slice out a little bit and we'll put these right into our tortillas.
So everybody's saying, oh my God, your hand is open. But what kind of cheese? These are other questions. And can you add tofu?
Oh yeah, you could like scramble tofu with eggs if you want, or you could replace the eggs with tofu, which would be amazing. The book calls for Monterey Jack cheese. I'm using pepper jack cheese, but like sky's kind of the limit. You could use Havarti, you could use cheddar, you could use cotija, Parmesan. Like desperate times call for desperate measures.
So I want to ask you, this is your third book. You have a huge Instagram following. How do you decide what recipes go into this book compared to the other books? What did you want to capture for this moment in time?
So for this book, I get so many questions about like, we know you post all these things on Instagram, but what are you really eating? And I said, this is what I actually eat. Like, I think there's so much noise in today's world about the food you're putting into your body. And there are all these younger women who are scared to eat fruit and things like that. And I just wanted people to get back to the idea of enjoying food and letting it bring you joy and happiness. So that's how I went into creating all the recipes. Like, what is it that we eat at our home? And when I have people over, what like feeds their soul?
Yeah.
So that's how I came up with these 125 recipes, and from my travels, which is funny because we can't travel right now. So you can travel through the book.
Everybody's saying, check the oven, check the oven.
I know.
Oh my God.
I appreciate every time we do an Insta Live, I'm like, somebody set a timer for me. I will forget.
Oh my God. So do you find, Gabi, that people struggle with what to eat today, that there is just so much noise around what's healthy, what's not, what you should be eating keto, you should be eating paleo, you should be eating plant, you shouldn't eat anything.
Right. Yeah. Just don't eat anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's like kind of.
I do. And I think you have to eat what makes you feel good. So like for me, if I had a rough day, I want a grilled cheese or a bowl of pasta or something comforting. And then the next day I'm going to have a salad and go for a walk or a run. I just think the balance component is so important, but also like feeling free to put a banana in your smoothie is okay. Like there are a lot of people who are like, no bananas, no dates, no this, no that. We're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here are saying they agree that there's just too many restrictions. She has chapters in here on sides. You have lettuce wraps, which are, terrific. And what I like about these mole nachos, coconut rice bowls. I mean, first of all, beautiful pictures of you. Lots on chips. So that's something, garlic herb bread, OMG.
That's my dad's recipe. He feels very famous that he made it into the cookbook. He's a surgeon, like he's a doctor, but he makes bread in his free time. And I was like, you have to write a recipe for the book. It's one less thing I have to do. So he did it.
So everybody here can follow. Oh, you have goat cheese polenta. I mean, that looks amazing.
I'm putting a little hot sauce on these too.
So you do this like every day on your Instagram, right?
Yeah, we do Insta Lives every Monday at 6, and I teach people to cook something for dinner. And Thomas, my husband, like moderates questions the whole time. It's very much a family affair. My cat makes an appearance.
And these Insta Lives have really boomed during this time. What is that telling you? That people want to learn, or they have never had the time, or?
Yeah, both. I think for the first time, there's tons of people who were never who never had the time to cook, they worked too much, or they always went out to eat, who are now forced to figure out how to feed themselves at home. And I think it's so cool that they can turn to us to learn. Like, we had so much traffic and so many questions. We got out my culinary school binder from 10 years ago, and we started making culinary school videos on like how to chop an onion, how to chop herbs, how to make this, that. So it's like the super basics I learned the first couple weeks of school that people can now put into their own lives so they can make their quarantine like a little bit sunnier, brighter, all that kind of stuff.
And you work with your husband?
Yes, he came on to What's Gabi Cooking full time about a year ago.
Wow.
It was a transition, it was a real adjustment, but now we're thriving.
That is so great. So this is Gabi's new book, What's Gabi Cooking? Eat What You Want, 125 Recipes for Real Life. This is her third book. Great blurbs on the back, beautiful pictures.
Thank our mutual friends on the back, Heather McMahon.
Oh, is she? Oh,
yeah.
Look. Oh my God, is she the funniest person on the planet?
Ever in my life. I love her so much.
Oh, she is so funny. I mean, I talked about her on the Today Show, and then they've had her on now several times, and people are beside themselves laughing at her.
She is a true gem, and I cannot wait for her tour to get rescheduled because I'm going.
Yeah, and she talks a lot about what she eats.
Yes, and we cooked together a couple times, and she's a great cook also. Like, she really can get in there and get it done. Her mom's a good cook as well.
Okay, well, I feel really badly for my kids that I did not show them that I was a good cook.
You're the best mom.
But now there's hope for me. So I can rectify this situation, so I can come out of quarantine making soft scrambled eggs with charred tortillas.
Yeah, you can make yourself a breakfast tortilla.
There you go. She gets to eat it. So, like, I mean, I don't get to eat it, but I get to learn how to make it. The recipe is in the Sunday paper. The new book comes out Tuesday, and you can watch her cook on her own Instagram every Monday night, and her husband is filming it and is involved. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Maria. This was such a good start to the morning.
Yes, it was great for us too. God bless you and have a great, great day. And good luck on your book day.
Thank you. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy
Bye.
Sunday. How great is that? What is she cooking? How great is that? Oh my God. I love to see people who are loving their work, having such joy. That looks so easy. Even I could do that. I mean, I am going to get every time on Sunday Paper Live, I'm going to get a recipe that even I can do and that also looks beautiful. So all of you who are really accomplished chefs won't feel like it's too easy for you. So now I'm going to try to find my brother Timothy, because in the Sunday paper today, under the Sunday Paper Recommend, every week we recommend something. And this Sunday, today, we recommend this show that's coming on Friday, May 1st, 24 hours. It's called The Call to Unite. And it's the brainchild of my brother, Timothy. Of course, he's not here, naturally. He was here earlier, but so he has to come back. Timothy, where are you, Timothy? He has to request. Anyway, The Call to Unite, if you go on the Sunday page, oh, no, it's not. He's not there. Anyway, it's called The Call to Unite. It's this Friday, and you can join it. It's a streaming show, and it's got hundreds of faith-based leaders, thought leaders, spiritual leaders, everyday architects of change, as I say, all coming together to answer the call to unite. Wait, there. And his goal is to really give us all the skills. It's going to be a master class on who we want to be when we come out of this stay-at-home period. Oh, there's Timothy. Good morning.
I've been watching and listening to you becoming a cook. And let me tell you, this is the most historic Instagram live.
Timothy.
I'm over at your house
right
now for the first meal you cook. I can't wait.
Well, I hope you watched that, but I hope you also watched Emily. I don't know if you were able to see Emily Esfahani-Smith, who wrote the book, The Power of Meaning. She talked about her piece in the Sunday paper today, which talks about developing resilience during this time, how to come out with post-traumatic growth, how to develop a narrative that works for you. And I wanted you to talk about this very exciting show that you've developed. It's Friday. It's in the Sunday paper. It's called The Call to Unite. And so, Timmy, tell everybody where they can watch The Call to Unite, how they can be involved.
Thank you, Maria. So, this is an idea that came from many, many people. And I think it's in some ways a moment for all of us. There's a sense in which for many people, we're facing a moment of decision. Something's changed. Something's happening that's different in some ways. And we're all kind of trying to figure out, how do we become better through this? Who will we be when this is over? And for most of us, most of the people I talk to, they don't want to go back necessarily. We had problems before this, right? We had division, we had anger, we had overwhelming amounts of anxiety and fear, even of each other, even in families. Thank God, not in ours, but in so many families. So a bunch of us just got together and said, let's have a global 24-hour master class where we can all opt in and share the moment. Unite, not people who divide. So on every streaming platform,
Timmy, you're freezing up a little bit. I don't know if can you?
Each other. I'm freezing up.
I'm going to ask Timmy because I can kind of see you. You're blurry and you kind of keep coming in and out. But what Timmy was saying is that anybody can join the Call to Unite. Where do they go to join? And it's really, I love the way you describe it. It's really a masterclass on developing the skills of a uniter. We've heard about, what dividers look like, what dividers are. But for everybody who wants to come out of this period as a uniter, right? What are the qualities of a uniter, Timmy?
Well, I think it's a really great question. And in some ways, the answer is different for each person. But we've seen some things that people have in common. First, uniters. You should
go to the kitchen to get better Wi-Fi, Timmy. I don't know who that is saying that. Go to unite.us to learn more. But Timmy should
I'm breaking. Am I breaking up?
You're breaking up. So I hope at unite.us you're going to have better streaming connection than for the Sunday paper live. Oh, it's getting a little bit better. There, you're getting a little bit clearer. You're getting a little bit clear. Oh, there, that's good. That's good. Now talk.
Okay. This is the story of my life, everybody. My sister tells me what to do, where to stand, what to say, and when to say it. And thank God I don't mind. Thank God it's been nothing but good news from me my whole life. So Maria, we noticed your question before was what makes for a uniter. So it's different for everyone.
Right.
So for some people, being able to cook, you just heard a beautiful story about a couple. They find themselves more close to each other as they work together in the kitchen, as they produce. That's a gift of a uniter. But we've seen some things that people have in common. One is the kinds of gifts they learned from people who on the show, like Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle. At calm and at peace with yourself. If you find very difficult. We've seen this in all cultures. It's very difficult to be at peace with others. And so many teachers on the show, Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle, as I said, Deepak Chopra, Richard Rohr, many of these people will be helping each of us to develop practices that give us a sense of calm, even in the midst of enormous pain and even in the midst of enormous uncertainty. A second set of practices we're going to be hearing a lot about is just how do you strengthen your relationships? How do you listen attentively to others? How do you be curious instead of furious? How do you disagree without being disagreeable? And we'll hear from people ranging from former President George W. Bush and Arthur Brooks to Scarlett Lewis, a mom who teaches in the face of pain how to choose love. We'll be hearing from Krista Tippett with poets who teach us the practice of poetry. Many people think poetry is really removed, but anyone can write a jingle and anyone can write poetry. And it turns out poetry is a really beautiful practice to help us feel more connected to each other. So there'll be people talking about those kinds of things. How about celebration? D Nice will lead a party throughout the middle of the night, a party that gets us to realize that being a uniter is also learning how to have fun with each other. And so we'll have artists like like the African Children's Choir and D Nice and Reverend Run telling us, hey, look, service and love and peace are also about celebration. So I can't tell you, I've just been going through the show and we have 200 people from all over the world. Every segment, I just go, oh my God, I just can't wait to hear Jack Kornfield talk to you. I just can't wait to hear Martha Beck talk. I just can't wait to go to the party with D Nice. I can't wait to talk to Charlemagne the God about how we reach places that haven't been reached, people that have been forgotten. I can't wait to hear Rick Warren tell us what it means to marshal a global workforce of service. I can't wait to hear T.D. Jakes sort of pierce my heart with his message of faith in the midst of adversity and healing in the midst of grief. I just kind of feel like, sorry.
So many people are saying this sounds so incredible. I can't wait to see this, because all of those people you talked about, you're asking people to answer the call, to become a uniter, to join you, to listen, to share their stories when they join you. So where do they do this?
They do it on Facebook. They do it on YouTube, on Instagram, on all the various Google platforms, on Twitch, and unite.us. We just launched yesterday our website, which is unite.us. We hope people will come, share, sign up. It's an invitation, right? When you get a call, someone calls you, you get a call. You've gotten calls, Mommy, yes, what should I be doing?
Yes.
Timmy, how do I help you? We get calls in life. This is, in a sense, a moment for us to say we're all being called. We're all being invited now to make a choice. Let's do this together. Let's come out of this just a little bit more confident that we're not alone, a little bit more trusting in each other, and just let's take small steps, as so many brothers and sisters around the world are struggling with overwhelming pain and difficulty. Let's be there for each other. Whether we have something big to offer or something small, let's answer this call at unite.us. Sign up, accept the invitation, and help us build a community of people who believe that we can be better if we're together.
So many people here, curious instead of furious, repeating that, saying, I'm in, I want to join. You're also going to be raising millions of dollars on the show for people who find themselves newly unemployed, who find themselves unable to pay their bills. You're going to be bringing direct relief, spiritual relief, educational relief, and financial relief to millions of people.
We hope to have the largest direct giving fundraiser in history.
Pause. Repeat that. Pause.
The largest direct giving fundraiser in history. We hope to be able to generate the most money ever generated, certainly in a single day, on behalf of human beings who, if they have $1 to give or $100 million to give, opt for helping out a brother and sister who needs it. We hope to have an enormous outpouring of commitment to service, working with Points of Light and other organizations. No matter whether you have financial resources or not, all of us can offer to help in some small way, even if it's with a phone call or a text or a support for someone in need. And we're hoping to create the largest ever co-authored book. Simple title, Us. Our stories of choosing to be uniters. We have a fantastic editor, Maria Shriver, who's going to edit the book of Us. And we even hope to have it not just virtually. You can contribute your story starting right at the beginning of the show, contribute your authorship to the book of Us, and then we're going to print it. And if I know you, it's going to be ready by the holidays. And hopefully we'll have a little time capsule that says at this moment in time, when we faced the worst, we marshaled the best.
That's so beautifully said. What is really important for everybody here to remember, no matter where you live around the globe, you're invited to join the call to unite. You will come out of this. I know you know, most people can't stay 24 hours, but if you come
What?
for 20 minutes, 15
Yeah.
minutes, if you have $1 to give, but if you have an open mind and an open heart and open ears, you will learn the skills. Emily started this morning talking about the skills to give us meaning to come out of this. She talked about the skills of being someone who has post-traumatic growth. You're talking about the skills that we can all gain from this to be a uniter instead of a divider. And that after the show, we'll be walking around saying, you know, hi, I'm Maria, I'm a uniter. I'm not a
That's right.
Democrat or Republican.
I hope people will say that. I hope people will live into it. I hope people will know that it's hard. We'll hear from homeless people who've tried their whole lives and who can teach us too.
Yeah.
We'll hear from people, Special Olympics athletes like Loretta Claiborne. You know, Loretta said to me, I'm happy to be on this show. I've been isolated my whole life. I can tell people how to live and power through, how to develop, just as you said, what I call post-traumatic strength syndrome.
Yeah. So,
And
Timmy,
so
how do
we'll
people
hear,
say?
we'll hear average people,
Yeah.
everybody has a gift in this vision, right? It's not just the extraordinary gift that Oprah gives us by joining me as really a co-host, but as the world's in some way uniter, and as someone who you've coached and supported and been coached by and supported. And all of us, so many of us, millions of us have benefited from Oprah's leadership. She'll be there. And then you say that's an extraordinarily recognizable person, and indeed the most. But you too, everybody has a gift to be a uniter. And so when Killian No, who started the recovery cafes in Seattle, talks to men or women on the street, we're going to be mining them for their gifts too, because they've got some experience that none of us can possibly imagine maybe. And there is a kernel of wisdom, a power of an inner flame of being in them too, not just the famous folks. And our community, people who will someday vote, I hope, as uniters, who will go to work and try to be uniters, who will live in families when there's conflict, learn the skills. Mark Brackett will teach us things like how to be your best self with others and share that, who you want to be with, how you want to feel. Help me feel the way I want to feel. My friend, Curious Not Furious, is great. I got to give credit to my friend Keith Matheny, who teaches in School Connect. He's a social and emotional learning teacher. He teaches how to.
That's being repeated here a
Yeah.
lot.
Good.
So I think, Timmy,
Kudos to Keith.
People want to know like how they can help, how they can join. Can you just reiterate again how people can help? How can they join?
This is Maria coaching me to how to send my message. Unite.us.
Okay.
I get so excited about the ideas and the kids and all these things.
No, but it's incredible. It's incredible. And the great thing
I
is
know.
Unite.us. You can RSVP starting right now.
Right now, you can go on. You're invited. The first thing you'll get is an invitation.
Okay.
All you do is put your email in. You'll be on the invitation list. You'll be on the list. And starting at 8 p.m., you can prepare. If you've got $1 and $1 you'd like to give, be prepared to give it then and be part of the largest fundraising campaign in history on May Day, right? On May Day, the day in which we're declaring ourselves to be in this together for the future, not just coming out of enormous pain, much pain, I'm sorry to say, still to come. Not just deciding to follow good medical advice and good political advice and all these things, but committing ourselves to each other at a different level. Unite.us, 8 p.m. Friday. You'll be able to give, you'll be able to share, you'll be able to serve, and you'll be able to grow and be in process of becoming a uniter. And from what I can tell, the world is starving. We're starving. You know, we're still scared of each other, and we're starving not to be.
So I want to remind people, we're going to be talking about it all this week, but the invitation, the website just debuted. It's in the Sunday paper today. We wanted to have Timmy just to come on quickly this morning to kind of kick off the website. We'll talk about it all week long. You can join. Everyone's invited. The goal, if you have 10 minutes between next Friday night and next Saturday night, you'll learn skills. You'll be inspired in your heart and mind. You'll be moving humanity forward. And most importantly, you'll be moving yourself to a place perhaps that you didn't imagine. And that's really, I think your goal is for people to be moved, to be inspired, to make them think, to make them cry, and to make them come out of this realizing that they have the skill set that we all will need coming out of this. And the skill set of a uniter is very different than the skill set of a divider. It's much harder, but you're going to teach us how to get there.
We're going to teach each other. And in that, in that very spirit, we win.
Wonderful. Timmy Shriver, repeat the website again. This is definitely a yippee moment. People were
Unite.us. This is my moment to get it right.
Yes.
Please join us at Unite.us. Answer the call, answer the invitation, bring your gift, bring your treasure, bring your spirit, bring your soul, bring your family, bring your friends. Join us in helping us build a more united future.
Love that. A more united world. And that begins with uniting all the different parts of ourselves.
Right.
And then we move out from there. So Timmy, I'm going to be talking to you this week, maybe on this Instagram.
Wonderful.
About all
and let me just say,
so
Maria, just without sounding too much like it's just about this family, you have already assembled a community with the Sunday paper and with your career of people whose hearts you've opened. And I can't tell you the thousands of people when I go out and around the country, not obviously recently, but before, who come up to me and say, you know, your sister has been my lifeline. Your sister has helped me when I had a loss. Your sister has been the person who keeps me stable and keeps me sane in otherwise divisive times. The community you've already created is a powerhouse of this energy. And if we just add a little bit of additional push to what you've done and to who you are and to the people you've assembled, I think we will have joined with the best.
Well, I'm a uniter. I'm all there with you. So I will be talking to you all week long. I hope everybody is inspired by Timmy's message. I hope everybody will join. I hope everybody will RSVP. Tell your friends, pass it on, pay it forward. And if you don't have $1 to give, you're still invited. So I think that's
you're absolutely still invited. And I want to introduce you just before we go to my daughter, Kathleen, who is right now doing all the social media and making sure that we're all, that the whole world is going to know. So this is her whole setup. She's got computers and bikes and screens and all these kinds of things.
Well,
so join us.
She's the person I connected with at midnight. When I was going to bed, I was like, Timmy should come on to talk about it. And she's like, he's asleep, but we'll get him on there first.
I always answer the call from my eye.
That's so great. So people of all ages are working, are involved, are bringing their skill sets.
All ages, all over the world.
All over the world. So we'll be talking all week long. The call to unite, unite.us. There's always so many people behind the scenes to make something like this come to life. There's so many people involved, Timmy, in helping you bring this.
And if you don't donate, you can dance. You can dance with Debbie Allen. That's uniting.
That's nice.
I
like
paint.
That.
You can play music with Yo-Yo. You can do lots of things.
Maybe you should get Gabi and you could cook with her.
Booker.
Booker. Okay, Booker. Oh my God. Okay. I love you. Goodbye.
I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. There you heard it. That was our recommend, the Sunday paper recommend. And I'm going to leave you. I hope you enjoyed the Sunday paper live today. I hope you'll look at what Richard Rohr wrote. I hope you'll look at what I wrote, what I've been thinking about. And I hope you have an extraordinary day. I hope you have a day of meaning. I hope you have a day of transcendence. I hope you feel connection. I hope you feel belonging. I want to thank you for joining us here today. You belong here. And thank you so much for all your support and the love. And I love that we're all in this together. And I want to leave you. We have Chanel Jones's Sunday to Be list, but I'm going to leave you real quick with the quote that we have from Dr. Jonas Salk, and it is, there is hope in dreams, imagination, and in the courage of those who wish to make those dreams a reality. So I leave you with that, and go have a great day. And if you don't subscribe to the Sunday paper, please do, and pass it forward. Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.